Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. When I first heard that the Miami Dolphins were in talks to trade Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers, my initial reaction was pure confusion. What are they thinking, I asked myself. Smith just came off a career year, 88 catches, over 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. He was one of the most productive tight ends in the league. Why on earth would Miami consider moving him now? But the more I thought about it, the more it started to make sense. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't the worst idea. The NFL isn't just about stats. It's about timing, cap space, long-term planning, and sometimes letting go of a valuable player is smarter than clinging on too long. It's not about emotion. It's about vision. And right now, the Dolphins are showing signs that they're ready to reset and build a new foundation, whether fans are ready for it or not. Let's talk age, because that's one of the driving forces behind this. Jonnu Smith is turning 30 soon. In tight end years, that's not ancient, but is definitely on the back nine of the career. The Dolphins have already gotten burned by giving big money deals to older stars like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey. Now Hill's contract has a clean exit path after this season, and Ramsey's already rumored to be on the trade block. Miami isn't trying to make the same mistake twice. It's not that Smith isn't valuable, it's that extending him again could put them in a risky cap situation when they're trying to get younger and more flexible. That Pro Bowl performance might have just been the peak, and the team might not want to bet on a repeat. Also, the Dolphins are clearly entering a soft rebuild, whether general manager Chris Grier wants to say it out loud or not. They spent a lot of draft capital on the trenches, offensive and defensive line, and that's where rebuilds start. You don't invest heavily in those spots unless you're planning for the future. And if they're already planning for Tyreek Hill's eventual exit, it's not far-fetched to think Smith is part of that same wave. The team needs young, cost-controlled assets, and that usually means veterans with big contracts or upcoming free agency years become expendable. It's less about Smith himself and more about what this team is trying to become in 2025 and beyond. Now, let's be real. Jonnu Smith isn't Travis Kelce. He had a phenomenal year, yes, but he only played in 55% of Miami's offensive snaps. That's just a little over half the time. He's a receiving tight end, not a blocker, and while that's valuable, it's also limited. He's not a do-it-all guy. He's not going to give you that George Kittle physicality in the run game. He was used smartly. Lots of screen passes, design touches, high-efficiency plays. But if that's all he's doing, how much are you really willing to pay for that? Especially when you're trying to reshape the identity of your team. The Dolphins have to weigh production versus role, and in Smith's case, it's not as straightforward as the numbers might suggest. Let's talk about his contract situation. Jonnu Smith wants a new deal, and that makes sense. He's almost 30, and this is probably his last shot at a big payday. You can't blame him for trying to secure the bag, but from the Dolphins' perspective, that's a dangerous game. One breakout year doesn't erase the fact that before 2024, Smith had never caught more than 50 passes or topped 600 yards in a season. Is that worth a multi-year, big money commitment? Probably not, especially not from a team that's been trying to clean up its cap and roster mistakes from the last few years. A player deserves to get paid, but the team has to make sure it's not paying for lightning in a bottle. Another thing to keep in mind, Smith is on his 4th NFL team. That doesn't mean he's bad, but it says something. If he were truly a top-tier tight end, someone would have locked him down long-term before now. The Dolphins signed him to a 2-year deal for a reason. He was seen as a solid contributor, not a game changer. And when you break down his production, a lot of it came on designed plays behind the line of scrimmage. Those quick throws and screens inflated his catch total, but they don't necessarily mean he was dominating downfield. That matters when you're deciding if he's worth a second contract or just a short-term asset. So what could Miami even get in a trade? Probably not much, to be honest. That's why I was surprised to hear the Steelers were even interested. They're not exactly hurting for tight ends, but if, and this is a big if, they're willing to offer Darnell Washington, that could be interesting. Washington is a huge physical presence, still on his rookie contract, and he's got upside. He hasn't been a big part of the Steelers' offense yet, but maybe that changes in Miami. He'd be cheaper, younger, and potentially more versatile in the long run. Plus, the Dolphins don't have a single tight end under contract beyond this year. They've got to start planning for that too. So here's where I land. I'm not against trading Jonnu Smith, but it has to be the right deal. Miami shouldn't be desperate. They should be strategic. If they're not planning to re-sign him, and if they know this is a transition year, why not get something back? Letting him walk next offseason for nothing isn't ideal, but giving him away for scraps isn't either. If a team like the Steelers wants to talk seriously, then you listen. Maybe you don't pull the trigger, but you pick up the phone. You don't shut down possibilities when your roster is clearly about to enter a new phase. The rebuild is coming, whether fans like it or not. Tyreek Hill's contract situation is looming, Ramsey's trade rumors aren't going away, and Tua's extension still isn't signed. Chris Greer might not admit it publicly, but the Dolphins are shifting. The goal isn't to tear everything down, it's to reposition the team for long-term success. That means tough decisions. That means parting ways with good players at the right time. It's never easy, but if you wait too long, you end up paying for past performance instead of future potential. That's what they're trying to avoid now. At the end of the day, I'd still prefer to keep Jonnu Smith. He's productive, he fits the offense, and he's coming off his best year. But I also understand the business. If you can't afford him or don't want to commit, you explore your options. Let him play out the year or trade him now and start stocking picks or young talent. What you don't do is stay stuck in the middle. The NFL doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards bold moves. So if the Dolphins see a chance to step into the future just a little bit sooner, maybe it's worth saying goodbye a year early. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because the NFL world is absolutely on fire right now. A rumor so wild, so electrifying, has just hit the gridiron like a blitzing linebacker. Patrick Mahomes, yes, the Patrick Mahomes was reportedly spotted in a secret meeting down in Miami. That's right. The Kansas City Chiefs superstar quarterback, the face of the league, and already a two-time MVP, was seen meeting with key figures associated with the Miami Dolphins organization. This revelation has sparked a frenzy across social media, sports talk shows, and of course right here on our channel. Could we really be witnessing the start of a new dynasty, not in Kansas City, but under the sunny skies of South Beach? Now, before anyone grabs their Dolphins jersey and runs into the streets celebrating, let's unpack everything we know so far. Multiple sources claim that Mahomes flew privately into Miami earlier this week. He was photographed, although grainy, stepping out of an SUV at a well-known luxury hotel in downtown Miami. What's more intriguing is that just hours later, key Dolphins executives and coaching staff were reportedly seen entering the same hotel. Coincidence? Some say yes, but the timing is just too perfect to ignore. The rumor mill suggests that this wasn't just a casual vacation or a promotional event, but a closed-door meeting exploring the possibility of Mahomes donning the aqua and orange. The implications of such a move are absolutely staggering. Let's put this in perspective. Patrick Mahomes is currently the centerpiece of the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's been to the Super Bowl multiple times under his leadership and secured 2 titles. For him to even entertain the idea of leaving would send shockwaves through the entire NFL landscape. But here's the thing, Miami has been aggressively positioning itself as a powerhouse destination, both in terms of lifestyle and competitive roster potential. With a solid defense, rising offensive stars, and the allure of Miami's glamorous appeal, the Dolphins could very well be laying the groundwork for what many are already calling the next NFL dynasty. But what about Mahomes' current contract? That's the next big question. As we all know, Mahomes signed a historic 10-year, $450 million deal with the Chiefs not too long ago. On the surface, that kind of commitment looks ironclad. However, insiders point out that the NFL is notorious for contract restructures, trades, and financial gymnastics that can make the seemingly impossible very possible. Some reports suggest that there may be specific opt-out clauses or that the Dolphins are exploring unprecedented trade packages to bring Mahomes to Miami. Imagine the kind of offer that would have to be on the table for the Chiefs to even consider. Draft picks, star players, cash considerations, the whole enchilada. Let's not forget the strategic side from Mahomes' perspective. Moving to Miami could represent not just a change of scenery, but a legacy-defining pivot. He's already achieved so much in Kansas City, but aligning with the Dolphins would open new doors, fresh branding opportunities, a massive new fan base, and a chance to cement himself as the player who revived not one, but two struggling franchises into championship-caliber teams. Think about it. LeBron James took his talents to South Beach and changed the NBA forever. Could Mahomes be thinking of doing the same in the NFL? The parallels are uncanny, and you better believe that sports media is already running wild with that narrative. Now let's talk about the Dolphins' current quarterback situation, because that's the elephant in the room. Tua Tagovailoa has shown flashes of brilliance and has been steadily improving, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. The Dolphins' front office has been publicly supportive of Tua, but behind the scenes, it's no secret they've explored other quarterback options over the past few seasons. From Deshaun Watson trade rumors to their pursuit of Tom Brady in the past, Miami has consistently kept its options open when it comes to landing a superstar quarterback. Bringing Mahomes into the fold would instantly catapult them into Super Bowl contention and redefine the entire AFC landscape. Of course, we've got to address the skepticism too. Many analysts are quick to pour cold water on the idea, citing Mahomes' deep ties to Kansas City, the franchise's recent success, and the logistical challenges of making such a blockbuster move. They argue that Mahomes is deeply loyal to the Chiefs organization that believed in him, helped him develop into a superstar, and made him the face of their franchise. Plus, Kansas City still boasts one of the most dynamic offenses in the league, anchored by coach Andy Reid, who's widely considered one of the greatest offensive minds in NFL history. Would Mahomes really risk leaving such a comfortable and successful situation? But then again, this is professional sports where loyalty can sometimes take a back seat to ambition, opportunity, and personal legacy. Let's not forget, Tom Brady left the New England Patriots after 2 decades of dominance to chase a new chapter in Tampa Bay. And guess what? He won another Super Bowl. If Brady could do it, why not Mahomes? Miami offers not just an elite roster, but also a lifestyle that's hard to beat. Sunshine, global branding potential, and a chance to be the centerpiece of a franchise that's hungry for its first Super Bowl title since the days of Don Shula and Dan Marino. And here's where things get even spicier: the timing. With the NFL draft recently concluded and free agency moves settling down, teams are now quietly laying the groundwork for potential blockbuster trades before the season starts. Mahomes' secret trip to Miami could be the first domino to fall in what might become the most shocking NFL transaction of the decade. League insiders have noted that Dolphins ownership is all in on making bold moves. And with Mahomes' recent comments about wanting to maximize his personal brand and business ventures, Miami makes perfect sense as the ideal landing spot. At the end of the day, whether this rumor turns out to be a seismic shift in the NFL or just an off-season smokescreen, one thing's for sure: it's got everyone talking. From die-hard Chiefs fans panicking about a potential breakup to Dolphin supporters dreaming of a new era of dominance, the buzz is palpable. So keep your eyes glued to this channel, folks. We're tracking every lead, every insider report, and every social media clue as this story continues to develop. Patrick Mahomes in Miami, a new NFL dynasty in the making. Stranger things have happened, and if this rumor has any legs, the league is about to change forever. Stay tuned. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share. And with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.